Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for what I believe would be a very insightful session of Gen Zooms. So, Gen Zooms is a webinar series by Genesis as our way to outreach to the ecosystem, stakeholders, and community. For this, my team and I really spend a lot of time to figure out what are the ongoing trends, and then we curate our panelists to share their thoughts, their trends. My name is Martin. I'm your host. I'm co founder and partner of Genesis Alternative Ventures. Genesis is Southeast Asia's premier venture debt fund. We provide debt capital to empower growth and minimize dilution for the region's leading venture backed companies. Today, we know, right, the narrative has switched from life after COVID to life with COVID. So, how does that change how we work, live, shop, especially with the gradual reopening of economies? Today, I'm very, very happy to have a veteran of the luxury retail sector in Indonesia, as well as senior leaders from our two portfolio companies join us today to share with us what they're seeing on the ground in the light of COVID-19. So I'll have Pak Irwan, who is president and CEO of Time International,
Hi, everybody.
to do an introduction. But before that, I'll play a very, very nice video that Time has prepared just to give everyone a flavor of who they are, what they do. That was a great video. We can never expect anything less from Team International.
Thanks, Martin, putting that up.
Can you share a little bit about time and what you've been doing, especially under lockdown?
Okay, thanks for that. Really, wow, I just saw the video. It's been a long journey, I guess. I didn't realize it's been so long. Yes, we are Indonesian company, second generation, and as you can see in the video, we started operation in 1965. Second generation came in the mid 80s, in the late, I think, yeah, early 80s, I would say. And basic what we always, I mean, the journey we went through is we definitely want to be, everything that we do, we want to be customer facing, so it's really a focus on services within what we do, not just the brand that we represent, because in Indonesia we believe that we wanted to curate these brands into the country rather than just ride on the power of these brands around the world. And yes, it's been for us we have gone through almost 3 months now working from home. We've gone through this past 3 months on a BCP program within the organization, and also as we go by learning. First and foremost, what I can share with the audience and fellow distinguished panelists here, I mean, for us, the main thing is to be present internally with the team and to be very transparent and honest with the team on the situation. So we worked it internally, and then together, then we would then make plans and roll out plans and also with the belief that we have to be dynamic in making all these plans, because things are changing by the day
Right.
or by the hour. And yes, and the key is really to stay connected with the team and to work it through. We have about close to 2,000 guys that we need to be in touch with, and we want to make sure that we are in touch with them. We want to make sure first also that we care for their situation at the
Right.
moment. And yeah, that's the main thing
Okay.
we
Right. But we'll come back to you in a while. But I have to let Vanessa and Saga do their introduction first. So Vanessa, CEO and co-founder of GoWork, and we have Sagar, VP Corporate Development, Hamlet. Vanessa, please make your
Hi
introduction.
everyone. Thanks, Martin. Hi, Pak Irwan. Hi, Sagar. Very honored
Hello.
to be here with you guys. Let me just play something.
I feel
Okay,
the energy.
that was short and sweet. For those of you who probably have never heard of GoWork or don't know what GoWork is, because I think there are audience calling in from different countries. So we are now the largest flexible workspace operator in Indonesia. Before I started the introduction, I really would like to share why the founders started GoWork, because I think this is something that is extremely important in motivating us going forward, and especially in a time like this when things are not as easy as it used to be, right? So our core purpose at GoWork is really to improve the quality of work life. We believe that everyone is born to achieve something great, and the way we built the company from the start is really not focusing on the hardware or not focusing on building workspace or offices, but focusing on the quality that we can help people to achieve, integrating work and life in a way that they can produce their best work and lead meaningful life. We started in 2016, so we're still quite young compared to Time International. We still need to learn a lot from you, Pak. At that time, we started in a very small space in one of the loft apartment in Jakarta at CBD called City Loft. I combined 2 units, 130 square meter is probably as big as one of our event space right now. But we quickly grew until currently we are operating 40,000+ square meter in 4 cities, Jakarta, Surabaya, Bali, and Medan coming up very soon. The plan is, before COVID, we all had planned before COVID, we wanted to achieve 60,000 square meter by the end of this year. However, because of this temporary setback, we will probably achieve that in Q1 of next year. So all the expansion plan is still on the way. In terms of number of members, we have served more than 60,000 members, and what we refer as members are people who are not just sitting in our space working, but also our community members, network, and partners. We are operating in 23 hub locations, serving more than 600 corporates. And we have also been focusing a lot on content, building content in ways that people can collaborate through events, through networking, and also personal and business developments. If you're familiar with Jakarta, we have an MRT now, even though we only have one line, but we do have an MRT now in Indonesia. A lot of our GoWork locations are sitting very close to an MRT station, which makes it very helpful for a lot of our member companies to put their teams in different locations so that they can pick the locations that are closer to their homes, especially nowadays, with pandemic hitting all of us. Just wanted to share with you some of the locations and photos so that you have some idea how GoWork looks like when you visit us, if you haven't. We actually are neighbors with one of Pak Irwan's shop in Plaza Indonesia. Yeah, Pak. This is the one in
Yep, yeah.
Millennium Centennial. We have 7 floors there. Fatmawati, we converted a car showroom into a flexible workspace. So we have 12-meter or 15-meter ceilings here. The one in Menara Stanchart, we also opened it this year. We have one in Bali in Park 23 with big balconies, and each of the private office has their own balcony as well. So it's not an office like it used to be. And now, just a quick snapshot on how we are operating our business now after COVID. Just
Maybe Vanessa, can I suggest you keep this one for later, because I've got questions for you. Sagar, over to you.
great.
Last but
Yeah.
not least, I'm also, there's a resounding 93% of our audiences who are WFH. So
Yeah.
your views will be very, very important, Sagar. Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Martin. Thanks for having me here, and hello, everyone. My name is Sagar Khatri. I am VP of Corporate Development at Hamlet. Been with Hamlet for almost 2 years now, and was a career investment banker before. I'm going to pull out my presentation as well to sort of give you an introduction of what Hamlet does. Is my slides visible?
Not yet, but I can play it for you if you want.
Yeah.
I can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's loading. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Right. So Hamlet, we are the largest co-living company in Asia Pacific. We call ourselves living and lifestyle platform because that's what we do. We started with real estate, but now we are getting into lifestyle services as well. In all the 4 geographies that we operate, which is Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, and Japan, we are operating more than 100 plus locations and catering to more than 1,000 plus members. Our product is diversified. We have Hamlet Boutique, which is our short-term product. We have Hamlet Campus, which is our student housing, and we have our Hamlet Co-Living core product.
Right.
The trend that if you think about the recent trend that is happening is people's attitudes towards consumption is really changing. The millennials are looking for increased flexibility. They are looking for greater convenience, and at the same time, they want to have all these services at an on-demand culture basis at an affordable rates. So at Hamlet, what we're doing is we are sort of catering to these 3 trends. Just skip a bit.
You got the slides you want?
Yeah, the next slide is, it just skips the next slide. Okay, no way. So at Hamlet, what we're doing is we're catering to these 3 trends. We are bringing real estate online. We are sort of removing that entire commitment base from living, where you don't necessarily have to sign a long-term lease. You can live with us for 1 month or 1 year. It's up to you, and an affordable rate. That has helped us to launch in 4 major markets. We started in 2016 with Singapore. Then we entered in Hong Kong with an acquisition in 2018. At the same time, we started in Australia with an acquisition as well. Last year, we entered Tokyo with a joint venture with Mitsubishi Estate. So that has been the history of Hamlet. Over to you, Martin.
Good stuff. So now I'll stop the slide presentation. No more cheating. Now we enter into the panelist question session. So, these few days, the buzzword has always been lockdowns or PSBB for our Indonesian friends, circuit breaker for Singapore. it's been a big reset for businesses and individuals alike. Some have been COVID beneficiaries. Some, have had to take a break or make pivots. So really, COVID is that accelerant for change, and it also started the biggest WFH experiment, which so far so good. And now you can see why I've placed these three panelists together. So maybe I'll go back to Park, right? Like, in your business, what were some of the immediate challenges faced, or even opportunities realized when PSBB started?
Thanks, Martin. Yeah, well, as a company, we've been evolving, and of course, we know the digital world was coming through this century, this past century, and it's coming, just growing, and we always strive to look for new way of doing business. I mean, to keep the company young at heart, and also in operating, because we know that the customers or the clients are also getting younger and younger in a way. So we've been the first and foremost, we've been always on the ground, understanding or try to understand the new. Every day is a new thing. This is how we believe, even before the pandemic is out. So we've been looking for new dimension of running retail, and we've been always looking also on how are we relevant
Right.
to the millennials or Gen Z and so forth, because this is one of the oldest sort of business models or business deals that we do.
Right.
I mean, we're basically trading, and then we learned from the very beginning to start that we want to build brands rather than just trade brands. We want to introduce them closer to the Indonesian young market.
Right.
Data has now always been the biggest tools.
Right.
We need to really believe in our data, and then we need also to then work with the data rather than try to analyze the data too much and try to change and not looking at face value, because that's also part of the challenge, because we go, no, it's not really like that, but it's more like, well, this is changing. Let's see how much can we change with time. So yes, we knew during this pandemic, before Indonesia was declaring that we are affected. The other part of the world has already been affected. So we learn from that, and we start our BCP earlier. We start working, doing the work from home program early, and we start implementing all the protocols, so then we can continue our business in the safest manner possible. We have a lot of people in the office that's coming in and out. We have a lot of guys in our stores. I mean, we're still running majority brick and mortars
Right.
business. The first thing that we do is, of course, we need to be present with them. We need to be connected in a way, and we have a strong, not too old digital department. The strong team there that then lead us through and use the social media part of it. Now, if changes or what change we've made, really actually, as we've been learning all the time about this new way of doing business, as far as using the digital platform or the e-commerce platform, we realized early that we believe that the e-commerce and also brick and mortar should go hand in hand. This is not something taking the market away. I've never believed in that. And we learn through seminars like such as this, or even we created a group of sort of board of advisors that's from the different business that's looking into this to help us to understand what we can do better, or how we can relate ourselves into the digital world. So we've gone through that. We realized many small things like we all learned, should be in Bahasa, should be bilingual, bilingual and so forth. And we are also building our digital platform, right? In our stores, you can actually, if you go to our stores, they're actually the catalog of our digital business. So people can actually come to the stores and go home and
Right. Park, don't give away the secret yet. I have to ask you that later. So, nanti, yeah.
well,
So
yes.
you have to let my co-working and co-living friend let me ask them some questions first. So
Cool, cool.
we talk about challenges and whatnot again. So with the crisis, the business model of co-working and co-living has been touted as ever more important, depending on which publication you're reading, for
Mhm.
reasons such as decentralization, flexibility, cost efficiency, etc. So, Vanessa, much has been said about working from home, and some people say we're gonna work from home. I can work from home. I don't need the office and all that. But talking to people, looking at friends, it's not possible. How has
Mhm.
that changed your perspective of your business as well as your members? How do they think of Go Work now?
Yeah, so in Indonesia, we started lockdown in March, right? Or I think early April. Early April. March was when the government started to implement work from home, and of course, even though we are in the business of flexible workspace and flexible and remote work arrangement, we also need to get used to this. Um, so from April onwards, we started to close down some locations because there was no clear directions yet from the government on how like what businesses can still operate and which businesses have to completely shut. Right. We have to host a lot of different businesses and different industries at our space, so we cannot just shut all of the locations. Um, of course, we as an operator, constant communication is extremely important. So from my level all the way down to all of our community managers or hub managers, what we call them, who knows the members in each space directly. We talk to them. I mean, we ask them. We talk to them. What do you guys need? We also communicate very extensively with our landlords. Obviously, everyone gets hit, right? The first few weeks we have to deal with members who are asking for termination, for downsizing, for deferring, all those things. I mean, we nothing is certain. However, right now, I think looking back, those are all kind of a reaction that people have to do at that time, given the uncertainties, right? But after given a certain time to think about it, they're all coming back to us. They're all coming back to us and asking us, how can we put our teams not in one location. A lot of our members used to just choose one location and put everybody there, but now they split their teams, right? It
Right.
becomes a benefit for the companies to allow their employees to choose any of our locations across Jakarta. In this case, we have the most number of locations in Jakarta, so that they don't have to expose themselves to public transport for 2 hours each way, or they don't have to drive for so long, right? And I think flexible work arrangement is definitely here to stay.
Right.
We cannot all just stay at home and work. I mean, I for sure feel very unproductive working from home 100%, right? And we
I
still
won't
need human interaction.
I won't take your word for it. I will ask Sagar. Sagar, we chatted about this before, future of work, future of living. You had some interesting insights, which I'm sure Vanessa will be happy to hear. So I think for Hamlet, really, home is the safe haven and everyone's office in such times. So can you share a little bit about what you have seen in the last few months from your members and your perspectives on the business going forward?
Right, absolutely. So I think a couple of things, right? From Hamlet's perspective, there were a couple of challenges, and I'm happy that you clubbed it with opportunities, because we made opportunities out of these challenges. One was, viewing. Traditionally, real estate people always want to, rent out spaces. They go and physically see the house, right? But with the advancement of technology and with regulations, what happened is, we could not do sort of physical viewing because of the circuit breaker. What our
Right.
team did is they actually sort of, used that challenge and converted it into an opportunity where, by using Matterport, they were now selling online. In fact, if the initial percentage were 20%, now 80% of our new sales were happening online. So that was one, and that has had a carry through effect even after COVID. So now we've seen that we've leapfrogged into digitalization because of circuit breaker. That's one. Second, people always talk about this big B2G segment, business to government. COVID has really cracked that go-to market for us. The entire sort of migrant workers crisis that happened in Singapore, that really helped us collaborate with government,
Mhm.
give them alternate housing arrangements for these migrant workers. And that really opened up different avenues for collaboration between us and government. So that these are the two opportunities that we've seen. And in addition, one of the trends that we're seeing on ground is, people are getting ready to be in it for a long haul. So they are preparing their house in a manner that they want to share more. They don't want to live in studios anymore. They want to have people around, so that they can get mingling, they can sort of socialize, and people are preferring more and more shared apartments. So these are the three opportunities that we are seeing in our sector, at least.
Right. So are they still planning to go to the office? We talk about them staying in a nice place, probably outside of the CBD, and uh, working out of a hub that Go Work could potentially provide.
Absolutely. I think, let me just sort of, I think this is for Vanessa, but I'll just opine quickly and Vanessa can take over. Uh, One of the views that we have on this is, working space as we traditionally know, at least what we hear from our members, is changing. So they are preparing home offices plus some membership at, Go Work or other co-working spaces, if they really want to, sort of go and meet people. So that's at least what we are seeing on the ground.
Right. Vanessa,
Yes. Same question, or sorry?
so, are you seeing the same kind of trends, like we talk about AB teams? Are you
Yep.
seeing there's talks about hub and spoke
Yes.
offices? You
Yes.
seeing some of that as well?
Yes, yes. It's interesting, Martin, because we did have that strategy before, even before the crisis happened.
Right, right,
We recognize that if at all possible, right? We live in Jakarta, the traffic is crazy, and if at all possible, why do we have to spend that much time in traffic, right? So we work with one of the largest F&B operators in Indonesia that has more than 100 locations across Indonesia, to utilize their space as our spoke, and that was before even COVID hit. Right now, yes, we have seen more and more of our company member companies asking us about this flexibility, not just splitting their members, but also the AB team, like ABC team, right? Because they realize that, hey, you know what? Some of my teams are actually more productive working from home, right? Some of my teams have to meet up maybe like twice a week or 3 times a week. So why don't we arrange it so that 50% of the people can come Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or like whatever it is that the
right,
company needs. So we're very flexible in making sure that can happen with them.
right. So let's go back to Park Irwan, right? So we have Go Work and Hamlet talking a little bit of their version of O2O. I go to office some days I stay at home. For e-commerce, yes, there are a lot of people who say, with e-commerce retailers, they're going to be irrelevant, whatever. But when I look at the stores, Singapore East Circuit Breaker, everyone is thronging back. And if you Google globally, everyone is out there going to the malls. In some places, they even talk about revenge buying. So e-commerce is not going to replace physical retail as we know it, but surely there must be some key ingredients to make this whole online and offline experience work. Can you share a little bit about how your view on that?
Thanks, Martin. It's just last week when it was announced Jakarta was going to be open. and the more starting to operate or starting operation. Of course, before I take, the key of being disciplined in the new protocols is really important, and that's why we've been campaigning internally and also through our clients. But interestingly, we get a lot of calls on a day before opening. I'm talking a heck of our phone line were jammed, our operators were jammed, as a lot of these guys are making appointments to go to the store,
All right.
or saying I'm going to pick up myself some of the goods or some of the pieces that I've been striving to get and all that. So this is one thing that it was unexpected for us, and so we then obviously give them the appointments, and then and the stores are coming. And obviously, business-wise, conversion rate becomes flying through the roof, because
Right.
whoever comes in is the one that wanted to pick up. And this past week, we've been open. We've seen that has not slowed down yet. So we don't know. As we said earlier, it's a learning, and it's changing. It's very dynamic, the situation.
Right.
But yes, we again, all this is because we also, with shop from home, it's been also a big success in people acquiring and so on. And we do also not just the pressure of we want to sell you stuff, but that empathy of that we have to our clients. So we a lot of people ask for the watches that it's still in the service center, and they really feel like being at home, they want to see it. I mean, I don't even wear a watch today because we don't. I'm not. I have been working from home since the beginning. So a lot of this emotional thing, we continue connecting with them,
Right.
and then we do many events together through digitally. I mean, maybe a wine tasting, maybe and so forth. So we keep that connection. So yes, for us, it's in a way we learn more on the e-commerce side. Obviously, the business has grown, but it's still, I can share this, which is not really, it's still yet to be at the level that become very serious in that sense, but it's a steady growth.
Right.
So if the question is what we've been doing is we really take that omni-channel into more personalized by being with them as they browse the pieces they like, as they talk about the collection that they have. We are working now to actually bring the boutique to you. So we are working now to virtually have a virtual boutiques that we can take it to your home.
Right.
So then even that. So we are not discounting, or we are not trying to choose one or the other. We believe that these two things can again work hand in hand, and it can really enhance each other.
Right.
So yeah.
So it's really that full end-to-end customer experience you're talking about. One cannot do without the other. So that I also wanna ask, what is the unique? What are some of the unique requests from your customers? And obviously you're reacting to click and collect, shop from home. What is that one request that you're like, wow, I never thought of that, but yes, it makes sense. Let's do it.
Well, yeah. Well, first and foremost, they really want to. The key thing, they are more open in sharing their collections. So they were saying, if you're showing your collection in the store, we want to show ours too.
Right.
So this creates more of the connection again. So they're saying, can we display through your virtual store our collection?
Right.
And then which normally people are more discreet with this.
Yes.
And they want to then also talk to the watchmakers in Europe
Wow.
of their collection. So these are the things that now the key is again we see this as very positive, as the connection is really become the underlining for this. And I think also with Saga, with Vanessa and all that, I mean, this is also part of upping, part of how we can connect, because we can then for instance, use platform of we can travel and live together in your place, and then we can work in GoWork, and then we can actually shop in within the three. I mean, this is really no limit to this, no boundaries
Right.
in this, and this is the key also that why we are interconnected. First of all, we serve our clients to the maximum. We give them attention that is beyond the expectation.
Right.
And it's the new generation that we are tending to.
Absolutely. So Vanessa, what are some of the interesting requests from customers that gave you that light bulb moment? Like, yeah, we need to do this.
Uh, Interesting request. Well, I think right now a lot of our customers also want to reach out, right? They have done as much as they can and we can to cut costs, and now we have to start thinking about new revenues, new opportunities. At GoWork, because we have very extensive network of companies, we see that we become more and more a facilitator for companies who want to reach out to others to grow their business, right? It's even more so. I mean, before we have facilitated a lot of these connections, but even more so now through things like IG Live. We do a lot of that as well. And then we do a lot of webinars as well. They want their voice to be heard, and since we have the assets, right? Our assets is the people, are the companies that we have reach out, and we can continue to reach out. It is something that we continuously see. That's from the software part. From the hardware part, of course, we're exploring different things with how to make sure that our workspace is safe, right? Social distancing. I don't know if it's going to be for here to stay, where we can never touch each other, where we can never give each other a hug. I miss that actually. Like I miss when I see my friends here. I'm like, okay, never mind. Can you say like hi? So we also explore the different solutions, like different new solutions and different layouts in terms of our future locations to make sure that everybody feels safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Sagar, over to you. What about some of the business ideas that your members have given you?
Right. So I think this time for us particularly has been like in terms of feedback, we have learned a lot. In fact, a couple of our new business lines sort of, we recently started, sort of got executed because of the feedback and the sort of requests that came along during these times. So one of the key requests or the theme was the people want to build their own Hamlet. When we started Hamlet, we had an all-inclusive product. We're giving you furniture, we are designing it for you, we are giving you cleaning. But what we've realized in this period is people want to customize the product they want to live in. So people want to buy, rent their own furniture from Hamlet and, design their own sort of living space. They want to make sure they subscribe to some services, they don't subscribe to others. So that gave birth to something what we call Hamlet Shop internally, which is they can customize and build their own home and furniture and design as a service. So this period has been really a lot of learnings for us.
So hearing from the three of you, it just seems that the lockdown has also given us some time to sit down, take a step back, and reevaluate, rethink the business, and I think more importantly also reconnect with the people dear to us who are our customers. So in a way, the distance, like I said, has made us all closer, right? So given that. So this is another thing that I'm sure people who are watching this right now are thinking, like, if I go to GoWork, will I be safe? If I go to the Time stores, will I be safe? If I stay in Hamlet, will I be safe? I'm gonna play a new normal video for Time International, and it's really again, we don't expect anything less. again, there was a great video. If a picture speaks 1,000 words, this tells you the whole story.
We need to make some voiceover or some music behind it, I think.
Vanessa, I know you had some a little bit of this new normal, how you're keeping social distancing, keeping our members safe. Can you share a little bit so that we've got a lot of we've got our audiences. Actually, I just asked him, right, like ask them, they all miss their friends in the office, so I'm sure everyone is raring to go back to the office. How are you keeping your members safe? We can't hear you.
Sorry, hello. Can you
Right.
hear
Yes.
me now?
Yes, we
Yeah.
hear you now.
Okay, sorry. I was talking and didn't realize that I was on mute. Yeah, so starting in March, we have been constantly communicating with our members and also internally. And we set up a BCP team internally, as well as a team that is making sure that all the new protocols are also carried through, right? Now, from when we start to open earlier this month, every single space is equipped with a QR scan code, with thermal gun, all the standard stuff that we follow, as well as working very closely with the buildings that we are at to make sure that we are adding a second layer, or like second and third layer for the people who come into our space. So we also have everyone, including our internal team, to fill out a health declaration form. We clean extensively some of the high touch points. Physical distancing is also implemented in all of our space. Everyone in our shared space have to wear a mask, regardless whether they're sick or not. I mean, if they're sick, then they won't be able to come in, right? And we also take out a lot of our shared utensils. So it used to be one of the benefits is that you don't have to bring your cups or your plates or anything like that. But right now we really limit. We strongly encourage people to bring their own cups and plates, etc. Communication channels, we put it on our apps. We have member dedicated websites that they can come in anytime. And because at GoWork we have different facilities, shared facilities in our space. For example, the co-working area, the pantry, the phone booth. We equip each one of those area with a dedicated QR code, so that when anybody come in, they can also know what are the protocols of utilizing that space.
Yeah. Right. Before I jump to Saga, I must apologize. I forgot to ask our attendees to fire away with the questions. Yeah, Pak, you're gonna say something?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just missing out. I couldn't hear Vanessa very clear earlier, so I just wanna, because I was just trying to fix, but I just couldn't hear you. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, but Vanessa was sharing about how some of the things that they're doing to keep their members safe. I think very practical, where they say things like shared utensils as well. I guess in times like these, we really have to rely on the patience and the understanding of our customers to go through what is really an unprecedented time. So Saga, for your business, again, I said home is a safe haven, but there have been clusters at home and in like a large shared space, in shared spaces like yours. What are some of the things you're doing to keep your members safe and healthy?
Right. So, Martin, that's a very interesting question for us because we are a lifestyle platform, and a key value proposition in our business is doing community events and bringing people together.
Right.
And what we've done is, during this lockdown, when your sort of physical community events were not feasible, we did online events. And thanks to our members who have shown so much traction towards these events, be it yoga, be it a quiz night, be it a Friday night drinking party on DJs, we have seen more and more participation from our members and trust. Secondly, sort of being a operator, we have a very strong operational capacity. So we have cleaners, we have maintenance people who are well equipped to handle any unruly situation that might happen. Plus, at the same time, we have properties, and now because we are the largest APAC operator, we have enough properties to sort of isolate if there is any such case that happens. So that, to be honest, the entire sort of proposition has really dawned upon the members now, that the feeling of being safe in a curated community. So that value proposition really came out during this COVID crisis.
Right. Yeah, I think it cannot be stressed more. So we're entering into the last 10 minutes of the webinar, and I'm conscious of time. And I think I did quite a good job in asking the right questions, such that our audience that have not had reason to ask questions. So I'll continue asking. I always like to have this. It's okay to dream, right? So maybe I'll start with Park, right? What if you had a blank piece of paper, what does the future of retail mean to you?
Well, it's a good question, or probably I'm yet to dream about it. But yes, I think this being customer facing or client facing, we need to continue. I think the future would be great if we can sort of that emotional feel, or emotional, because people come to the store, people acquire whatever product they have through us is because of that emotional feel. That people buying a diving watch, it's not necessarily they want to swim, or they even scared to go diving, but they aspire to that, or pilot watch and so forth. So I think to bring that closer and to have that emotional bound that we can connect, it's really it's more so valuable than just going home with the product that they like.
Right.
I hope this makes sense. But just to add on to what interesting, what Vanessa, I could hear barely earlier, or Saga, this. I think the key for us in Indonesia is we've known all these new protocols, we've known of this new way of doing things and all that. But I think the discipline is very important. That we continue doing what we are doing, making sure that the safety of the customers, or our clients are upheld really high. So I think because today, as I always say, the fear of Corona is like there's just not as much as last time, but then the whole pandemic is still big out there. And this is what we make sure in the office and also in our stores, that the discipline of all this protocol needs to be in front, and not sort of put aside, because we are back to our old normal a little bit,
Right.
if I may say. So yes, the dream is really to if they can then they can continue, and we can share that emotional bound, the binding further.
Right. And I think that you early on you mentioned as well about being present, customizing, having empathy for your customer. I'm sure your customers actually during this period will become more loyal to you. Like, it's really a good opportunity to build that loyalty by being there for them.
Well, yeah, Martin. Again, I can share this with our fellow panelists. In Indonesia, our customer, of course, we have our customers, our VIPs, or what do you call that? But we treat them all as VIP per se. But the interesting here, 60% of our customers are brand new customers, which is not heard around the world.
Right.
6 out of 10 of our buyers are brand new or first-time buyers. So this is also, we need to channel to them and build that rapport with them, which is again, from the data we need to tap in deep and to understand them. And these guys are young. These guys are totally gadget users. You know, they've been doing their home shopping from home, you know, for their household and all this and that.
Right.
So we tap into them. This is the excitement of this. We will grow with them. You know, we will then continue growing to the market.
So what are some of the exciting developments we can look forward to from Time International? You know, like a mega mall online or something?
Well, you know, we definitely want to, in actual term, virtually bring the stores to your home. Bring that experience that you would have in the store in your home, and I think this is something that we want to master in a sense. You know, I like to make sure that the project is done well, and it's you know, I like you to be able to try the if this was a ready to wear, that you can try it virtually at your house,
Right.
and then also the watch, or different watches that you'd like to bring this to your home at your comfort, at your convenience, and yet to bring that emotional feel together with that. That would be the biggest achievement that we would want to have. So we are working on that very closely. You know, our shop from home, delivering to home, pick up, and all this, it's been going on. You know, but we want to now bring the store into your table.
Right. And that's really pushing boundaries, and you know, again, that's, we never expect anything less from Time International. I'll change to
Well, you
Sagar
know,
now.
again, it's
Yeah?
a
Go ahead. Sorry,
no,
I
sorry. I
was
just
like,
wanted to say. I mean, it would be good if you can. You would look for, like, if you you know, a choice. You would have more choice if you look for a certain product. We can virtually bring you 10, 15 different of the similar products, that you can really have a complete choice and complete information on the product. So this is also that would come with that. So
right.
that's you know,
Sagar, what does
Saga.
the future of living mean to you?
Right. So I have one slide on this. So let me see if I can
Go for it.
pull that.
Do you need?
No,
You,
I'm just
right.
pulling
Okay.
it out.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Okay, you can see the slide, right?
Yes, we can
Yeah.
see.
So I think, you know, sort of future of home and future of living is co-living. And why I say that, I have my reasons of saying that. So, you know, before COVID-19 actually came along, there were some long-term trends why co-living became popular, right? There was flexibility that was missing in the market. There was affordability, which we brought to the market. There was convenience, you know, this entire millennial generation, which was motivated by on-demand culture. On touch of a button, they want services. And then the entire community element of it, you know, using internet to sort of bring people out of internet is what we're trying to do, right? So these were the existing trends which was making co-living popular. But after COVID, you know, we have a strong hypothesis on 4 key trends which we think will make co-living even more popular. One is people will spend more time at home. I think Vanessa touched upon it. People want to do like half week, or, you know, 1 week off, 1 week on. What will that do is it will make home as important as your office. And if your home is where you're spending more significant time, you would need to have good furniture, you would need to be well designed, and you would need it to be managed by an operator that you trust. Similarly, you know, community spaces, you know, both for co-working and co-living, sort of that their importance will go up, because, you know, if you're not going to office every day, you would want to hang out somewhere, you don't want to work somewhere, right? Second trend that we are sort of hypothesizing is accelerated preference, and it also sort of ties back to Pakivan's argument that e-commerce will take off, right? So, you know, the entire sort of fully automated digital journey of renting or a buying house will become more popular. You know, with Matterport and all of these technologies, we are enabling that as well. The third point that we sort of crystal ball about is more emphasis on hygiene and services. So we are sort of getting into an era where Vanessa talked about you want to hug people, but you're not sure, right? So getting an era where hygiene and the importance around service quality will really increase. So here, any company, any operator that is offering 24/7 support, making people feel more safe, will sort of see trend going up. Fourth is reduction in short duration travel. I think 1 day business trip is behind us. Zoom has replaced it. So all these hotels and service apartments who will suffer during this time would probably want to sort of get the same yield on their property, would want to do co-living with their property. So that's where we see, and we've seen this trend, the kind of supply that we've onboarded in last 3 months. It has, we've never done that before in our history. So we are very confident that the future of living is co-living.
Right. And Vanessa, what does the future of work mean to you?
Cannot hear you.
While Vanessa sorts out her audio issues, the last 1 hour we've been some of the key points I heard is really the we're getting closer to our customers, because these days I just WhatsApp, email, or just phone calls, and a lot of people want to chat. Like, I think short of that physical distance, that physical barrier, the next best thing is to pick up the phone and talk, and that really allows us to get closer to our customers. Vanessa, are you back online?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, please tell us what
Yes.
the future of work means to you. I'm not letting you off the hook.
Thanks, Martin. Sorry about that. So I think flexible work arrangement is here to stay. There will be a lot lower tolerance in unproductivity time wasted for things like traffic and getting people together in one location, right? It's not just the space itself, but also the timing of working. In Jakarta, I think the local government has already set a shift schedule. People don't have to all come to work at 7 or 8, but they can start at 7, leave at 3, and then some starts at 10 and leave at 7 or whatnot. So I think from this environment and from this crisis, even the traditional companies who never believed in remote work are forced to learn from it, and it's going to be here to stay. The second thing is, I believe technology and human-to-human interactions will still go hand in hand. I don't believe that this is the death of office. We have seen some of it already, right? Video conferences like this are extremely helpful, but don't we miss physical interactions and like seeing someone face to face instead of seeing people on a square screen? So I strongly believe that it will still go hand in hand. I mean, technology, yes, it helps us to connect better. However, the human interaction is still extremely important. And the third, I believe that more companies will adopt co-working environment and arrangement for their companies. Even the ones that didn't believe it or didn't know that they needed it before, they will start looking for this. And therefore, landlord, I think will probably want to reach out to operators like us, because they are used to just giving the space empty. Here's your key, give us 6 months rent, and you can do whatever you want with the space. A lot of companies now, they don't want to deal with fitting out the space. They don't want to deal with 10-year lease, right? So landlords, and I've been talking to a lot of them, are very open to working with operators like us, where we are so used to dealing with the flexibility and also making sure that the environment is ready for people to use.
Right. So actually, we are almost at the end of our webinar. But you talk about landlords. It's always a very emotive word. But you're smiling now. You probably have to deal with a lot of landlords given your footprint. Are you seeing their behaviors changing, or they're still insisting on 10-year leases and whatnot? Or is it a bit different in
I
your
hope
world?
none of my landlords are here. Some landlords are more willing to adapt to the situation than others, I would say, just like any other industries, right?
Right,
I think the ones that are more progressive are really trying to work with us hand in hand early on. The ones that are more traditional, they probably are still looking to wait it out and
right,
see, if things go back to normal, then I will go back to the old way of doing things, right?
right,
So
right.
I have, yeah, um, various
Okay.
methods.
I guess only time can tell. So we've actually come to the end of our very, very insightful 1 hour. I've learned a lot. Um, Crisis in opportunity, opportunity in crisis. Distance makes us closer. Actually, our customers really want to talk to someone, and if you are there, you are catering to their needs and being empathetic to them. You create a lot of goodwill and build up that loyalty. And speaking to Pak Irwan, Vanessa, and Saga, I know that that's something that you are very, very passionate about. And, I'm really looking forward to seeing all the benefits, all the goodwill in the next 6 months or so when we can meet and compare notes again. So, to our dear audience, thank you very much. We certainly enjoyed the 1 hour with you, and we look forward to seeing you for the next episode. Thanks, Park, Vanessa, and
Thank
Saga.
you. Thank you,
Thank you. Thank
guys.
you,
Thank
Okay,
you.
everybody. Thank
guys.
you.
See
Okay,
you
Bye.
we'll talk
Right.
all.
again. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Martin.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.